Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Writing to Write, where I used to give questionable writing advice through writing metaphors, but have since switched over to hosting productivity sprints as I work to complete the fourth novel and then subsequently the fifth novel in my ongoing series. Let's see where the status is. I'm about to finish the first round of generic edits based on the most recent professional editors' reviews of my fourth novel, the fourth manuscript in my series, and there were some general notes, some specific notes that I want to go back and fix after I finish this pass. And then there are some more generic notes that I need to address that deal with either larger high-level things or issues along they're high-level things or things that would span multiple chapters. So I'm going to go through those. And hey, Richard, how's it going? Glad to see you. Always a fun Monday night. Let's see, fun story. Oh yeah, so the heart monitor. Every week, the thumbnails for these productivity sprints have to do with something that's going on in the week. So I went in for a physical last week, and because I'm a runner, my heart rate was apparently just really, really low, and they were concerned about it. And I was like, it's not that big of a deal, but they wanted to make sure, and so they hooked me up to an EKG machine. And I took my shirt off to get hooked up to the machine, and then the nurse who was there, she just laughed and she was like, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm going to have to shave you. So she it was really dumb because she tried to like minimize the shaving, but if you're doing any amount of shaving, like she probably should have just gone with the whole thing because that would look a lot better. But I didn't really want to sit there and let some woman shave me. So she did with the small set she could to get the heart monitors. I think there were two here. There was like one here, one on my arm, one on my other arm. So yeah, and after she shaved it all down, we found out that of course my EKG was fine. They didn't see anything anomalous in there, so we did all that for nothing. And so then I kind of trimmed everything. I didn't do a full shave, so I still have like a couple of patches here and there. But when that grows back in like a couple of weeks, I'll just go back and do some quick once overs. It should fix the problem. Luckily, I'm not going running at the moment. It is way too hot out, so I've been on my indoor bike. So it doesn't matter if anybody sees me with patchy, hairless parts on me, on my chest. So, womp womp. Anywho, I guess I'll get started with the first productivity sprint, and then I can catch up with you all, see what you're working on, see what you're writing in the break between the first and second sprint. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah. So I am working on the epilogue, which is one of my longer chapters. There were very short chapters and leading up to the ending note. I think it ranges from 1,000 to maybe 2,000 words, which is relatively short compared to everything else. In fact, some of them I think were even less than 1,000. So it's very, very fast. Boom, 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 boom. And then the epilogue is a lot longer because it's some immediate resolutions along with kind of a bit of ramp up again to make you want to check out the fifth book whenever I get around to writing it. Yeah. So I'm going to start off with writing the epilogue, and I will see you all in. Ooh. Awesome, Richard. You already did 1,000 words today, so either keep writing or just, hang out, play a game, read, write, do, relax or whatever. You've earned the break. Let's see. Adrienne needs a shower, so you leave the stream running. Thank you for helping me out those metrics. And feed Booney. Yep, Booney is getting all kinds of spoiled this weekend, which is nice. Anyways. Let's see here. You have an epilogue to write, and then you're Disaster novel stories done. Ooh, that's a good question. Let's find out. You got 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, or as long as you feel like staying awake. And Booty is, of course, a good boy. Yeah. I will see you all in 30 minutes. And I forgot my headphones, so I'm just going to go on mute. And yeah, I don't think it'll be too distracting. All right. See y'all. And welcome back, everyone. So I did it. I finished the epilogue, the edits to the epilogue. And so I'm going back and making the specific changes. So there were small edits that were very easy to incorporate where, I might have made a misspelling or a grammar thing or something along those lines. And then there are the comments that are associated with specific points, which I'm now going to do during the next sprint. So woot! Also, let's see here. Miss Page. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Evening, happy Monday. You haven't had a chance to get your rest since 6 a.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a long day. Mondays are often difficult. So you're going to hold still for the chat bits before you make the next decision about anything. Fair enough. And woot. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the thank yous. You sent out as part of your newsletter, you sent out a request for details which could be incorporated into your story. So I had a couple of ideas and I threw them out there. So we'll see how it goes. Also, yes, Boone did have a fun day at the dog park. We try to go there early on Sundays because there's fewer dogs there, and he's not always the smartest, so he will just completely walk into other dogs, and because other dogs don't recognize that he's blind, they'll get reactive, which makes him reactive. And so it's rather than reinforce that negative behavior, we just try and keep it there where there's only a handful of dogs. And it's also extremely hot and getting hotter out, which means that we try and get there before noon and don't stay for too long. Also, there's a shaded area, and then there's the field or whatever, and he insists on just wandering around if nobody's playing with him. So he'll be like in the shaded area and then leave the shaded area, and so he'll get very hot very quickly. Well, to be fair, I haven't completed this pass yet. Like I said, I have those comments things I want to add, specific comments that I want to change, and then I have the higher level comments which I want to do. So once I finish those, that'll be a complete pass. I have no idea how long that'll take. And then I'd like to do another complete read through. Then I can send it off to the proofreader, and I'll probably do one or two more iterations after that, and then it'll be good to go. So hopefully we'll see what comes of that. And let's see here. So Richard, how was your epilogue working for tonight? Hopefully you got everything situated and you're almost at the finish line. All right. Legit almost done, but you're still writing. Cool. Good to know. And let's see here. I've been talking a lot about work, so I'm going to try and put the pin on that. But yeah, I did have a bunch of friends over this weekend, and for some reason, I couldn't convince them to sit around and play a complicated board game for an hour or two, probably minimum of 2 hours, especially since it would be difficult to teach them all the rules. So we're talking about 2.5 hours. Anyway, so what we did end up doing was we played the original Halo. I have 3 Xboxes in this house now. Three Xbox 360s in this house now. And so we have an upstairs one, we have a downstairs one, and then we have the one which I fixed because that one was acting up and I didn't know if I could fix it. And it was just, honestly, the part needed was about as expensive as buying a new one. So I bought a new one, and then I waited a little bit and purchased the part, got it all replaced. So there we go. Yes. Board games less than 2 hours are not real board games. I mean, yes and no. There's a lot of really short ones. You can do Pandemic, which, funnily enough, the Lord of the Rings game that I played with my wife later on Saturday is actually, it uses similar mechanics to Pandemic. So if you can play Pandemic, you can play, The Fate of the Fellowship, which is an extremely fun game. We finally won. So it's a cooperative game where you try and destroy the One Ring. and you're going through. You have different characters you play as. Obviously, somebody. The only character that you're required to play as is Frodo and Sam, so it's a combined one character. And so each person can play as two people, because when you're Frodo and Sam, you really can't do a whole lot for a lot of the game. Primarily because if you move and there are orcs or Nazgul or anything like that near where you are in the area that you're in, it causes you to lose the game. It's like an outbreak for a pandemic, essentially, or a chance of an outbreak during with pandemic. So that's the equivalent there. And so each person controls two people. So I was playing as Legolas and Frodo Sam. And then who was my wife? My wife was definitely Arwen. No, not Arwen. Eowyn, the one who can kill Nazgul. So she always liked playing as her. And then I think, Aragorn. So she was a strong attacker going across most of the board. So she was killing orcs, she was killing Nazgul, and just calling it a day. And then I was, as Legolas, racking up a whole bunch of stealth points, which I then used as Frodo to avoid those outbreak scenarios and then sneak into. Yeah, I said Eowyn. It took me 2 tries because I think we tried playing as Arwen before and it didn't work out. But yeah, so we had 2 heavy hitters plus a sneaker plus the Frodo, who don't really have a choice. We tried a couple of different teams before. I think I went all hobbits one game, so I was Frodo, Sam, and then Merry Pippin, and we tried a bunch of different things. But yeah, like I said, we lost we've had some close games. There was one where I made it to Mount Doom and then kind of lost at the finish line because we ran out of cards, and that was that caused us to lose all hope. And then yeah, it just kind of worked out this time that we had everything set up. Although we were about to lose. Dale was about to get overrun. Minas Tirith was about to get overrun. Nazgul were everywhere. Even though we killed like 4 or 5 of them, they were exactly where they were. Sorry, my neighbor texted me. They were whatever. We were about to get overrun, and then I don't know. I feel like it was a bit anticlimactic because like the entire board is just screwed, and then I made a dash for Mount Doom and managed to get in there because I had like 10 different stealth tokens I had racked up, and so I used those to win the game. So yeah, but let's see how you all are doing with board games, because oh, hello Leela, thank you for joining in. Let's see here. Oh, you're confused about board games that are less than 2 hours, I guess. This is why normies don't want to play board games. Sure. Oh, awesome. Congrats, Richard. You got the epilogue done. Yeah, Life is a great game. I don't think I have it in this. I play it. My in-laws have it, so I play it there. Ooh, that is dark, Richard. Yeah, we have. So right around when COVID-19 was hitting its peaks, I had gotten Pandemic Legacy, and so we finally I had gotten Pandemic Legacy a long time before then, but my wife and I finally had a lot of time to go through it, and so we were playing this game about a global, essentially collapse, because of the way Legacy plays. There's a whole lot of, each game builds off the previous. So if you mess up and the city gets overrun, then the next time you play the game, the city is easier to get overrun. And so mistakes kind of compound. And if you have like a hero, their benefits increase. So it does make things more interesting that way. So we played a lot of that specific version of Pandemic. Let's see here. Ooh, nice. So that is pretty good work today for plus 1,000. Always a fan of those. So pared down your board games 4 or 5 times. Makes sense. Yeah. I have a cabinet that is completely full, so I can get no more board games, although the ones I do have are definitely top tier. I cannot recommend Fate of the Fellowship enough. It's a really, really fun game, very complicated at times. There's a lot of different strategies you can do, but any fan of Lord of the Rings would absolutely love it. Like I said, it's about 2.5 hours. What are some other hits in there? Betrayal at Haunted House on the Hill. That's a really fun game where you're kind of collectively investigating a haunted house, and then turns out that one of you was the betrayer, and then you find out exactly what type of horror movie you're in. So there's aliens, there's monsters, there's dragons, there's like all types of things. And so as you're going through and like kind of leveling up your person during the first half of the game, then you get to a point where everything triggers and everything goes wrong, and you find out that in fact one of you was a traitor, and then the four of you are trying to work together to achieve a goal. You know your goals, the traitor knows their goals, but there's no you don't necessarily know what each person is going for. So it becomes this kind of interesting thing of cat and mouse. And yes, at times the traitor gets really overpowered, and so you have like a Jason level murderer trying to chase after you down narrow corridors, and things get fun from there. Let's see, Seven Wonders is a lot of fun. So that's a card building game. I think it's best with like 5 to 8 people, so you need to get a whole bunch of people together because whatever. But yeah, those are some of the really good ones. And Small World's always a fun one. So yeah, I have a whole bunch, and I have Dead of Winter. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Let's see here. Time you took all the puzzles out of the box. Bad plan. Do not recommend. Fair enough. Yes, I am also very big into board games, video games, really any brain teaser, challenge. Those are always fun. Yeah. And so, like Adriana's saying, combining with what Adriana's saying, we had different parts of the map that were just failing. And so if we were getting to some decision points where we could have certain characters like run to try and put fires out, but we're like, it's going to take you 4 turns to get there. We don't have 4 turns. So I don't know what you're doing this turn, but there's really nothing you can do to solve that problem. If we don't win between now and then, we lose. Let's see here. Yeah, Monopoly is always fun. Yes. Well, we had a lot of free time. We weren't really going out. Like, we weren't going outside the house. Obviously, we were going out at the time. We were married, so but it was just something fun to play together. 2.5 hours less torture than other films. Hey. Those films are great. And if you're watching them with the special editions, it's 4+ hours. And of course, I do like Monopoly. Monopoly's a fun one. And there's all types of different versions of it. Oh boy. So let's see here. Too poor to do anything. The first few years were married, completely revamped. How to play Monopoly. Oh, cool. All right. Well, anyways, I got distracted by talking about board games, so let's go really quickly into the second sprint. So 20 minutes on the clock. And let's go. Oh, that's 30. Did I do this? I did do this wrong. Okay, let's try this again. It's this one. There we go. 20 minutes on the clock. I will see you all on the other side of that. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all got some good stuff in. I am struggling right now. There's one detail where I tried to adjust a specific moment, and it was kind of in like the middle of the story, but now I'm just scrapping that entire idea and going back to the very beginning. And I'm just going to include this detail early on then. So I'm going to include this detail early on and then sort of incorporate it in throughout. So I didn't really get much done in those 20 minutes, except I figured out the wrong way of doing things. But we are running kind of a little bit late, so I'm going to hop right back into 20-minute sprint. And good luck, everybody, for your third and final sprint. So I'll see you on the other side. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and for joining me for those 3 productivity sprints. I went back. I think I wrote what I wanted to do at the beginning, and now I need to incorporate it through in iterative parts. So it's kind of a surgical solution, which when I go back through that read through, I will see whether or not I actually got everything to connect properly. Hopefully I did, because this is kind of not really a drastic change, but it's definitely something that's noticeable, I guess. I don't know. Either way, it was a small detail which I had missed. But yeah, it's a small detail I missed, but it's one that I'm turning into a good character bonding moment, because needless to say, one of the characters didn't really think about themselves. And so another character was looking out for them and helped them when they weren't expecting it. So we'll see how well that plays out. And with that in mind, I will see you all next Monday, 6 p.m. Yeah, I don't think I have anything major coming up to prevent that from happening. Next Monday is as usual. And then, yeah. But yeah, so the first week in July, that'll be the 6th. I'm not doing a Writing to Write that week, but I'll be here next week. So that's the TLDR. And I hope you all had a wonderful start to the week. Remember, the week will only get better from here. We are getting back to the weekend. We're getting back to having fun on the weekend. Sorry, we're one day closer to the weekend. There we go. I will see you all next week. Thanks for the fun. And thank you for chatting it up and keeping me honest with my writing. So I will see you all later.